How's that?
Oh, it's good. I hear ya.
Good.
I hear ya. I hear ya.
Yeah. I'm hip.
Yeah.
You are definitely not hip.
No.
Who's definitely not hip?
You.
You know what? I'm so groovy,
Ivan's
man.
hip to the tip.
That's right.
That's right. He's hip to the tip. He's a
What the
hep
hell
cap.
does that mean?
He's a jiving hep cap.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, well, if you don't know, man, then if you have to ask me to explain it to you, you ain't square to the fair.
No, I'm pretty sure that's exactly where I don't want to be.
You want to be with us, the Squares Roundtable podcast.
That's right.
I don't want to be square to the fair.
Square to the fair, and hip to the tip, and hep to the jive, right?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong decade. I'll see you in a few. I'll see you next month. Yeah, I'll see you in the next millennium.
No, 23's good dude. Now you're going back to the 20s, man. That's jargon. It's the bee's knees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, boy. Well, here we are, another week in Rona Land.
Corona. You're staying home. Corona. You're all alone. Go ahead and have yourself a wonderful time with Corona, and know that you have to stick a cube up your nose to find out Corona. It's very obscene. Corona, you don't understand what I mean. Yes, when we're all chewing that bone, when you don't want to stay home alone, 'cause Corona has come onto your town.
Is that the B side?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
Okay.
Whatever side you want it to be on. Anyway, so what are we doing?
No, you're the one who's doing the recording. Is that the B side?
I guess so.
Ivan, you're overmodulating.
I'm overmodulating.
You're doing good. There, that's better.
I'm using a microphone.
Okay, so how are we doing, everybody? Ivan, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good.
Caught up in your Twitch.
Well, yeah, I did the Twitch feed, the 80s, Mundo 80s, and had a blast, and I have, always have the best time when I'm doing the broadcast gig. It's all good. And ever since I've been doing the Twitch thing, I haven't missed Facebook nor Instagram. Know what? Nah. Hey, whatever. But yeah, so for upward, onward, forward, just lots of TV and stellar conversation with the wife, and just hanging out, man. It's just been, the thrill of the chill.
What have you been watching on TV?
Well, okay, we got this channel called Start Television, so we watch Ghost Whisperer, The Good Wife, The Profiler, Cold Case, those type of series. Then sometimes we'll move to the Decades channel, pick up on I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, the occasional Petticoat Junction, the once in a while Munsters, and stuff like that. If not there, then on Me TV or Antenna TV. So yeah, not too much in the new fare lately. Let's see. Was watching a series though that came from the BBC. It was on WTTW Prime. And and it was called Undeserved. It was like 6 different stories leading up to one crime. It was like on the edge of your chair entertainment. We got to see the first and second part of the show. I guess it's a continuing series. I'm finding out more about it as I go. So that was surprising. Oh. That was really surprising to me. And then
who's the doctor?
There is no doctor.
No doctor?
Okay. No doctor?
No, it's not Doctor Who, no.
Oh.
Anyway, but all I'm saying is, other than that, the Mundo's 80 thing was really cool. Got to do a movie time now. It lives on in the middle of the Twitch feed. Basically, I play a lot of 80s movie-type music in the middle of it, and I had to start, I know Star Wars was a couple years before the 80s, but Miko recorded a dance track of it.
Yeah, I did listen to a bit of the disco Star Wars. I was in and out most of the day because I had family over, but I'll get it in mind. That's my weekend. But
Oh no, that's groovy, man. I mean, you get it when you get it, and so I was doing that. I did the.
So everybody was checking out DJ Smorgasbord.
What do you mean? I didn't have to bite to drink the whole show.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, there were no foods, no food items.
Really?
That's good.
That's impressive.
All right.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
I do.
All right.
See, that should have been your gimmick, though. DJ Buffet or DJ Smorgasbord.
DJ Buffet. It's a great title for a session. The DJ Buffet. I like that.
No. You should that should be your gimmick. You should be there, and there should be a long ass table with a whole spread.
A spread of record shaped delicacies, I think.
You don't need record shaped delicacies. You just keep playing records, and in the middle of it, while you're playing the records, you just sit there and go from one end of the table to the other in 4 hours, eating the food.
Wow.
People would watch that.
Yeah, they probably would. They probably would.
You need a wheelbarrow for afterwards, but
not to mention the fact that I'll be giving the pharmaceutical companies a reason to go ahead and invest in diabetes and heart attack pills. Man, that's a lot. I would
be more worried about your bathroom, quite frankly.
Well, okay, just firing off the trip. I got you.
Yeah, man.
There'll be a new 3-hour tour right after the first 4-hour tour.
3-hour tour. What is this? Gilligan's Island, the 3-hour tour.
You won't have to worry about packing a bag. You're going to have plenty of luggage.
Oh boy. Speaking of that, okay, speaking of bathroom situations, okay, just totally out of left field. All right?
Uh-huh.
When you're out in public, are you phobic about using the public bathrooms? I mean, I'm talking pre-corona and all that.
Sometimes. There's
Depends.
some, the major chains, they do, remember, I used to work at Target, part-time for a short time back in the 2000s. So I know their schedule for cleaning the bathrooms is pretty strict. So they keep a clean public restrooms, so I'll use the Target bathrooms.
Okay.
But some stores, I'm not, it's I'll use Walmart only if I gotta use the urinal. But no, at Walmart, I don't think I'd want to sit down unless it's emergency.
Okay, Jeff. All right. What's your Twitter with the shitter?
For the most part, if it's someplace where I trust what's there, I'm not so worried at the grocery store. I'm not so worried because they got to keep it clean. Okay. I'm not so worried at Walgreens. I hate to say it, I'm not even worried at Walmart that much, depending. I mean, sure,
Walmart,
you can walk in sometimes.
Walgreens has a public restroom?
Yeah.
I'd never known that.
Yeah, they have it. They have it past a couple of the doors. You'll have to go towards the back.
Oh, I've never seen that.
You gotta ask.
Okay, I've never asked, so.
You gotta ask unless you're, like I said, unless you're aware of where it is and you're okay, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I didn't.
Keep floating. I need help.
Now, on the other hand, there are certain restaurants where I'm I don't know about this.
I think one of the last times I used a public restroom in a restaurant was Shaw's Crab House up by Woodfield Mall. Yeah, that's fancy place.
Okay.
So
that's fancy place.
Yeah.
That should be okay.
So, if you went to Plum Garden, maybe you'd use the one in Plum Garden.
No, I've seldom eaten out at Plum Garden. We usually get a delivery.
Oh, okay.
Or delivery or carry-out.
Right,
We seldom eat inside the place.
Okay. I was about to say, your usual Chinese food restaurant? Probably no. In fairness, again, some of them are cleaner than others, but some of them, the hole-in-the-wall pizza place?
Okay,
You get the idea. I mean, I'll tell you right now, gas stations, if it looks like an old, hold on. If it's an old school gas station, hell no. If it's one of those ones that's really nice, that, looks like, it's well maintained. Yeah, if it looks like it's well maintained,
Or like a travel plaza on the interstate.
Yeah, exactly. Like something like that. Yeah, okay. Or like, here's the big clue.
Okay.
It's not a truck stop, it's a travel plaza.
If the bathroom... God. If it's traveling all right.
Yeah. That $2 hot dog from the Quick Trip.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, that I'm not doing.
No.
I am not dumb enough to do that. No way.
Okay.
But to your point, Ivan.
If
the bathroom is inside, at the gas station,
right?
Odds are good that it's okay.
Okay, yeah, all right.
If it's outside, and they hand you the key,
no, the fuck no, because you don't know what's up in there, man.
Yeah. There could be a badger in there.
What's going on in there? You can have a badger up in there, a skunk up in there, you have some old dead person up in there.
Two people having sex. I don't know.
Job and shit. No, not my scene, man.
Right. No. That's a gigantic no. That's a gigantic no. That's like
Here's one for you. All right. Bathrooms and bars.
It depends. It depends.
Okay.
It depends. I'll tell you right now, I am, as somebody who's been to enough strip club, gentlemen's clubs over the years.
Strip clubs.
Again, this really goes back to the type of gentlemen's club. If it's a high-end gentlemen's club,
okay.
Yeah, you're good. If you're dealing with strippers who have 3 fingers,
or they got house arrest ankle bracelets.
Yeah, if everybody in there has a tattoo but you.
Behind the bar with a towel.
I'll never. I swear to God, that actually happened to me.
That
actually happened. That there was the woman who. It was on my 21st birthday.
Okay.
It was on my 21st birthday. There was a local in Indianapolis. There was a local place called the Silk and Lace. Some people may have heard of it by a different name, which is the Silk and Disgrace. And you know, it's kind of, how can I say, a little bit more rough and tumble. And I went in there and I was already kind of buzzed pretty good from all day because I'd been drinking pretty much all day on my 21st birthday.
All right.
And I was buzzed pretty good, and she seemed like she was she was older, but she looked good. And we were talking and stuff, and I was paying attention to just about everything else. And then we're sitting there shooting the shit, and she goes to light a cigarette, and she's got like 3 of her fingers are like nubs.
Whoa, man!
4th of July, 2003.
That's fucking trippy, man.
Well, let me tell you how trippy it is.
Fuck out. No, that would freak me the fuck out.
Well, let me tell you the whole second. We're not talking about me sober seeing this. We're talking about me drunk seeing this.
Oh, okay.
To which my next reaction was, I cannot say what I really want to say, which is, holy fuck, you have no fingers. I mean, she's lighting up the cigarette between her nubs, and I'm like just sitting there going, okay.
Oh my God, that would be one hell of a hand job. Okay.
I don't know about that, but
oh my God.
Yeah, I was a little freaked out at that moment. Yes, I was.
That would put anybody out, dude.
But that place, I'm probably not using the restroom.
Yeah, she fit right in probably in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that's scumbag and Polish and Poles that looks like they haven't seen.
So anything else notable about your week, Ivan? Just been chilling,
well,
watching
wait,
TV?
I'm gonna flip the question on Ivan.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip the question on both of you. As long as we're doing weird, stupid bathrooms questions.
But the word the human.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Uh-huh.
You gotta go. I don't know if it's a single or a deuce. I don't know. I don't care. But you really, really gotta go. There's 2 doors. There's a men's, there's a woman's, okay? And it's one of those ones where it's like you go and the men's door is locked and you gotta go. Are you going in the women's room?
No.
No?
No.
You know it's a single, let me try that again. It's single on both sides. Like if you go to the grocery store sometimes where it's like if you go to like, I'll just say for example, like Jewel.
Well, obviously I'll knock first then. If it's a single seater, like it's just a big room with just a big empty room with one toilet in a corner.
Yeah, like you can lock it. You can lock it.
Okay.
You can lock yourself in there.
Okay.
Well, in that case, yeah, I would definitely go in.
Then I'd knock, and then I'll be like, okay.
They'll be like, "Who's there?" You know.
Yeah, that's what I do. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for radio theater here.
Yes, fun like that.
Is that your skull or the table?
So if it's a single seater and you gotta go and the men's is occupied, you go in the women's.
Oh no! If just a one seater, I'm good. I'll go in, knock first, then I go. Yeah.
Then I'd try and find an alternate.
You would. You wouldn't go in.
I mean, well,
it's just the one seater. You can lock the door.
Lock the door.
I remember this one time me and Ivan were driving back from DairyCon, and he really, really had to go. And we had stopped. We had dinner, and it's about an hour and a half drive from Wisconsin to, by Lake Geneva, which is right by the border right there.
Right, right.
And it's about 10 minutes from the border.
Yeah.
And Ivan was wailing. He was I was worried that he was going to soil my seat. So we had to, and we had like another vehicle behind us. They were like following us on the way back. Mm-hmm. And so we had to pull in and I never saw Ivan run so fast. We got in a gas station, and Ivan, he was.
I tore into that place. I didn't look. All I saw was.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Ivan knocked over like a rack of potato chips as you on your way to the back of the gas station.
Scene, right? Great movie scene. Just knocking shit off the nose and everything.
Yeah.
Just shit, throwing shit everywhere. Oh my gosh.
I'm just glad we averted a disaster there.
Yeah, no, I didn't soil your seats. Believe me, I would never want to soil your seats. Anybody's seats for that.
No. So it turned out okay, but yeah.
Okay, then of course, there was a story about speaking of cons. Remember the one that I took Matt and company down to Old Papa Joe's?
Well, see, I did not attend that. We talked about this on the podcast before about when you went to the strip club.
Yeah, that was
with Dwayne and Matt, and I think was his name Chris. I think was his name. I don't know. I can't speak about it. I wasn't there, but we have talked about it before on the show.
Okay, well, short order, man. It's like when you get to one of those type of places, and you just kind of look around, and the tiles are all kind of funky, and the bar looks like really old, and everything. And there were some good-looking girls. Don't get me wrong. And so it's just like I'm looking at Matt, and I'm like, okay. So next thing you know. Last person to get out was the bartendress, and he goes out there and she's got a towel, and all of us are sitting there perplexing as to what she was about to do, but she was like doing this crazy thing, and we just all said, yeah, let's call it a night.
Check, please.
Yes, I was like, I ain't use the bathrooms in here neither. No. So anyway.
So how about you? How was your Jeff weekend? I mean, how was your Jeff weekend?
How was your Jeff?
My Jeff?
How was your Jeff? Hey Jeff, how's your Jeff? Is your Jeff jiffy?
That's a entirely different conversation. I don't talk about that in the show. I am not having that conversation on this show. That is not what I'm here for. Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's. No.
That's fine. I mean.
Sorry.
Geez. No. I mean, you really want to have. I mean, we really want to have strip club, Tales of the Strip Club. I mean, we can go there.
I mean, that's up to you, man. I mean, we got all kinds of other things.
I do have something amusing about that, actually.
Okay. Well,
last weekend, I got a text from a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, want to go to Polecats?
Wow.
I'm like, I mean, this is like just after like everything's like kind of given the old
Illinois
all
kind of
clear.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, want to go to Polecats? And I'm like, now there's a really bad idea. Like a really bad idea. Forget the fact that I need a lot more cash to go there, but there's a really bad idea right there, which is, great. Yeah, that's where I want to go. That's right. Because nothing says fun like a bunch of dancers wearing COVID masks and God knows what.
And gloves.
And gloves.
Yeah.
And,
not in a good way.
So is the body glitter above or under the gloves?
That's a good question.
Are they in the gloves, maybe?
No.
I don't know. That's the other thing. Because I'm sure private dances are just phenomenal when everybody's 6 feet away from you.
Okay, nah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. If I want to do that, I could go to...
No, not when you're spending that kind of money.
Right, if I want to do that, I could go to the Admiral Theater. I mean, that's just them normally, so there you go.
Well, there you go down to 50 and hit the glass, behind glass.
Might hit some people in the right place with the nurse fetish.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Like I said, all I know is it was like, really?
The nurse thing is not for me, but I don't know.
No, but people that are into that whole nurse thing, just like the Disney princess thing, just like the every Rule 34 thing.
What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? There's this thing called cosplay, and every freaking convention, and I'm just calling it.
And Jeff has opinions about cosplayers.
Oh, I absolutely do.
Yes, he does. I discovered this after 103 episodes.
Yeah, cosplay is nothing but porn. It's nothing but softcore porn. It really is.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, because, it's like for every one somewhat legitimate situation, you've got like 15 racing.
It's like, I'll scroll through my Facebook wall and I was like, oh yeah, here's suggested friends. Here's Jessica, what's her name, in Ningiri or whatever. And it's just every cosplay, or Yaya Han, where every cosplay has boobs. It's like, okay.
I mean, I know some people who really do cosplay for real. And I'm not saying it has to be, like, not sexy, but a lot of what you see at these conventions, whether it be comic conventions or gaming conventions...
is cheesecake.
It's a lot of cheesecake.
Yeah.
Like, geez, just go watch some porn.
Beefcake, oh yeah.
Just go watch some porn. And my favorite is that parents take their kids. And they let them sit there and take pictures with these people. And you're like, really? Really? I mean, I know why Dad's taking the picture. We won't get into that. But...
We know why Dad's taking the picture, okay? I mean,
Right. I mean...
Let's Photoshop the fuck out of that.
Or the mom. Hey, that might be her thing.
That's true, too. Although, I will say, and see, this is where it gets weird, is it's like, okay, yes, you do have the little daughters you do have daughters who want to take a picture with, the sexy girl dressed up as Wonder Woman because they respect the Wonder Woman aspect of it.
Yeah, and
they're
Wonder
trying
Woman's
to play
costume,
off of that.
Applies to that in a lot of ways. Unless you're going even Linda Carter's was pretty sexy.
Yeah.
It was very appealing. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like 10-year-old me would be like, I don't know what's going on, but I need to go I'm
shaking in my shoes.
Watching this show makes me feel funny.
Yes, it kind of did.
Anyway.
No, okay.
Yeah, but your point, Jeff, is that a lot of moms take their daughters, and some of these cosplays, they take liberties with the outfit, and you'll see like a sexy Ray or something, or a sexy, fill in your name of whatever,
Right, or I've seen weird things where it's like,
with, yeah.
Where it's like they're wearing certain things, and it's like, and by the way, I want to be clear, I'm not sitting there saying that these women deserve the treatment they get from anybody, because that's that's bullshit.
That's not what that's about. No. You can look, but you do not touch. No.
Right. Or the fact that if you're looking too hard or you're drooling too much, but
giving off creepy vibes. No, that's not right. That's not cool.
I mean, to me, I'm sorry. There's just too many people when I go to conventions and I watch people when some of these people walk by, and you're just like, dude, go watch some porn. Go to a strip club. Do something with yourself. So that you don't have this problem.
Do something to yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that. But, but it's just the way that some people act around it. It's like, and you can tell it's like, dude, calm your hormones, man. Yeah. Seriously. I understand some of them are wearing some really, really hot stuff. But you got to calm down.
Have some respect. Have some respect. Don't be a dick. Have some respect. And
as long as we're on this...
Yeah, maybe someday people will take that to heart when we have conventions again.
Yeah, well, okay, so as long as we're on this, since we're talking about this, here's the other thing.
Come on.
Don't give me a funky-ass look when people sit there and say to you, no, you can't bring your weapons because it's for your cosplay. Seriously.
Yeah, in this day and age,
No. Stop it. Come on. If you're going to bring something that's plastic or something that, a Nerf sword or something like that.
Someone will complain, like, my Black Widow cosplay, I need a couple of snub-nosed pistols. Like, no, you don't! No.
No.
You really don't.
No.
You know what? There are certain limits to certain things that you can do.
Especially nowadays,
Yes.
I don't need you to bring your giant battle axe that you bought for $300.
That's going to be blocking half the hallway when you walk down there.
Well, forget that.
McLeod from, what's his name? Not McLeod, but the guy from Final Fantasy. I think his name is Cloud.
You were thinking of the Highlander guy.
There's a guy named Cloud or something from a Final Fantasy series.
Oh, is he? I thought that's the guy from Highlander. I am McLeod, the Clan McLeod.
Maybe that dude too. I don't know. Good job, McLeod.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
John McLeod.
So, how was your Jeff weekend?
So it's kind of funny because we're talking about this, and it kind of falls into.
Yeah.
I finally got a chance to see Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Okay.
How was it?
It wasn't. I almost hate to say it. I walk into DC movies and I'm like, please don't suck. I really am. I'm like, every single time I'm like, cross my fingers, hold my breath. Let's hope this is going to work. Let's hope it's not really, really bad. And it wasn't. I just thought, how do I put this? It needs a lot of work.
Okay. Did you see it for free?
No, I paid.
Okay.
Ouch.
Well, I paid, $6.
What, $5 or whatever?
Yeah, $5-6.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
All right. Not a big loss. Okay.
Right, not a big loss. But, in fairness, for $6, okay.
All right.
Seriously, for $6, sure, okay. I'll watch it for, I'm not sitting here going, God, I wasted my money for 2 hours. No, I don't think that happened at all. The problem,
we had some redeeming quality then.
So here's where we're at with it, which is everything. So the movie kind of starts in res, which is it's in the middle of something that's happening. And then it keeps going backward to where it has to go back and explain things or explain people and who they are and what they are and why. And then they'll go move back forward again. And there's a part of me where I like that. There's another part of me where I'm like, okay, I feel like you guys are overdoing it, or it's not working for me here. Whereas, like, perfect example, Spider-Verse does it, where they would go back and they would,
Spider-Verse was a well-done film.
Right, and this had its issues.
Okay.
This had its issues. The other thing is, listening to, what's her name, Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn, all I keep thinking to myself is, was she trying to channel Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny? Because that's what she sounded like pretty much the entire movie. She sounded like Harley now comes from, like, South Jersey.
Like she's got a hard Brooklynese accent?
Yeah, she sounds like... There's
a Jersey accent, and then there's a New York accent.
I don't know. All I know is it sounds just like my...
Joyzy. It's called Joyzy.
All I know is it sounded exactly like Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny. I mean, she literally sounded like that, and I'm just like...
Kind of came off like that, did it?
Okay.
No. It's more like I kind of like this, and I'm going to talk like that, and,
Oh, almost like doing Edward G. Robinson. Hey, you got copper.
No,
that's not.
You've never seen My Cousin Vinny with Marissa Tomei?
And
what's his name?
Joe Pesci.
With Joe Pesci.
I've heard of My Cousin Vinny. In fact, me and Julie had this conversation today.
Fred Gwynn.
Yeah, wasn't that his
and
last
Ralph
role?
Macchio.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio was in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no,
Ivan, have you never seen... Wait, stop. Ivan, have you never seen My Cousin Vinny?
No.
What?
Well, it's a good movie. You should see it.
Whoa.
No.
My God, dude.
That's a movie that really, the last 20 minutes is gold.
Okay.
Cinema gold. The last 20
Are you
minutes.
kidding? That whole movie is great.
Yeah,
and what's
I
her
like
name
that
won
movie.
an Oscar for that role.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Everybody talks about it. No, never actually sat through a showing of it. No.
Yeah, you should see it.
Wow.
That blew your mind. Okay, yes.
That blows my mind. That's one of those movies where it's like, you think, okay, that's a comedy I feel like everybody's seen in the last.
Yeah, great film.
Yeah, that's one of the better comedies in a long time. I mean, like I said, Marissa Tomei won a supporting actress role on that for an actual Oscar out of that role.
Damn.
Yeah. That's young Marissa Tomei.
Okay, so Birds of Prey, would you give it out of 5 Yamans?
I'll give it 3.
Okay. 3 is okay. 3 is good. Not great.
So here's where it's at. So basically, Harley's kind of... Yeah, so basically I feel like Harley's channeling Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny the entire way. It definitely has its action moments. They have to spend a lot of time going backward to explain some of the other players involved, like Rosie Perez, how Rosie Perez is Detective Montoya, and how that works. They have to go backward to explain Black Canary, the Black Canary, or the Canary, so to speak. They have to go backwards to go explain Huntress, and and then even for Cassandra Cain, and the other thing is so the bad guy is Black Mask, and it's played by Ewan McGregor, and all I can say is I watch him now, and it's like, why is Obi-Wan trying to kill everybody? I mean, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And
no, I hear he was miscast.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, I understand he's trying to break that mold. Well, it's not that. It just feels like I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi try to play a bad guy, and I'm like, this is not working. I mean, he sounds literally like Obi-Wan Kenobi while he's saying certain things, and I'm like, use the Force, Black Mask, use the Force. I mean, that's just the best way I can put it.
Hello there.
I feel like, well, young Obi-Wan Kenobi, not old Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, he did say it in episode 3, so.
But yeah, I mean, the interesting part to me is this movie. Well, the most interesting thing is with where this movie ends.
Okay.
It kind of sets up the possibility to split off for 2 different movies. One about a Harley Quinn movie, and one possibly for a Birds of Prey movie. The problem I have with the Birds of Prey movie is the only person of that grouping of any consequence who might have any star power that made me sit there and go, boy, I might want to really see that movie is Rosie Perez, because they kind of cast people I had never, that I didn't recognize or I didn't know or anything like that.
Yeah, we talked about it. This was our trepidation when this first came out. It was like the only one with any kind of name recognition was Rosie and Margot Robbie.
Right. Well, and obviously Obi-Wan Black Mask.
Yeah.
But
the star power.
So I don't know. I mean, let's just say this. Obviously, the Birds of Prey are now officially ensconced in the DC extended universe. How that works with a Batman film that's coming out, I have no idea. I have no idea if they're just going to go back to that for another Harley. They'll bring them back for another Harley Quinn movie at that point, or they could go off and do their own thing. Although I will say at this point, I'm kind of sitting there going, I don't know that any of them are strong enough to pull off another movie on their own, unless they get somebody else in there with a little bit of a name recognition or something like that. I mean, I guess that's possible. It just takes them a long time to get. And the other thing is, it takes them a long time to where they're all kind of working together. And then the other part is, so Cassandra Cain is in this movie. Cassandra Cain, they're playing her off as a young Asian girl who is a pickpocket. And the interesting part to me is Cassandra Cain at some point is supposed to become Batgirl. And at the end of the movie, she's off palling around with Harley Quinn. Like she's going to be her new be her new protege. And I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like,
how does this work?
If I disregard the fact that I know her comic book history, I'm okay with it. If I know her comic book history, I'm kind of sitting there going, how's this happening? I mean, granted, we got a lot of time, but are we not going to worry about that? I have no idea. But yeah, I like I said, I thought it's a solid movie. I'm curious where the second Suicide Squad movie comes in versus where this movie ends or begins. If it's before or after, it's unclear. I will say that I think that this movie comes after Suicide Squad. It was okay.
Yeah, because Harley's broken up with Joker by then.
Right, and they do go back to some of this footage from Suicide Squad, and in some ways they use cartoon art at the beginning to create the Joker as they're going through the beginning credits. So kudos on them figuring out a way to do that. Obviously,
without Jared Leto.
Right. Obviously there's some Batman mentions, but there's no Batman. So I don't know. Like I said, it's like I said, I for what it was, I enjoyed it. Was it spectacular? No. It's funny because there's a part of me where I'm like, oh, little girls will love this movie, and then I remember this movie's R-rated. And there's certainly some good reasons for it to be R-rated. So I'm kind of like, what were you trying to do with this movie in some ways? Who was this supposed to be targeted? They didn't know,
even after the movie came out, they didn't know, because they had to rename the film.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of the weird part is it's like, if your demographic was, and I think we talked about this at the time, demographic was supposed to be, they were targeting women with this movie, not so much fanboys or guys who are like us, who like the product. And
who read the comics and know the lore and
right.
all that.
And in fairness, that's fine, but why would you then go and do something with an R rating? Because the most obvious people that you would want to bring in...
Because Deadpool made money. That's why.
Right. I understand. But then if you're going to go that route, that you have to use that to cater to men,
like
not the other way around.
For women. That's what this was trying to...
I guess, but I don't know. If that was the trick, then I think that they...
You think they missed the point?
They missed the point. I think what's going to be
interesting... Well, they missed the mark. Definitely.
I think the interesting part is this. I think the interesting part is that, in the end, Margot Robbie's going to get another movie beyond the Suicide Squad thing. And I think part of it is they're going to blame COVID-19 and the fact that they didn't get what they wanted out of it. I don't know. Like I said, to me...
Do you think they rushed through it, you're saying?
No, I just think that...
But they'll blame the way they missed the mark partly on the way the theaters had to shut down.
Right, exactly.
After February.
Okay. All right.
Right, exactly.
So how would you recoup the losses
that maybe it would have picked up in February with not so many movies around, and this might have been...
Then it should be seeing great success on the DVD and streaming market, right?
And it might be. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, would you think it would recoup their losses? Do you think they'll break even, or do you think they'll recoup their losses?
Well, I think the other thing is, let's be honest, the other thing is Harley Quinn is now one of their most popular characters in mainstream.
Yeah.
And when I say mainstream, I'm not talking about geek stuff. I'm talking about people outside of
pop culture.
Stuff pop culture.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a popular Halloween costume at this point. Is Harley?
But you see, every Halloween you've got your fair share of Harley.
Not just conventional cosplays too, but
right, not convention cosplays. We're talking real Halloween costumes.
Right. Exactly. People are going out and they're redoing it, and it's like she's in the room, folks. So that's just what they're going after.
Well, and I'll tell you, I seem to remember
very impressed.
At one point we talked about on this show about there was the year end about the top searches, the top superhero searchers, I think, was it some sort of geek searches for Pornhub?
Yeah.
And she was top.
Yeah, she was
top
up there.
3.
Yeah.
Top 3, I think. She might have been 1.
So the skillet's still hot, and we'll see if it translates to success with Suicide Squad 2.
Right. Well, no, I think that'll be okay.
Yeah, you got James Gunn behind it too, so everyone knows that from Guardians.
So you think you'll be upright the second time around?
Suicide Squad 2, I think, would still do well.
So here's the thing. As much as everyone wants to give Suicide 1, and that's the other thing, by the way, the Harley Quinn movie does play a little bit off of the same feel.
That same vibe?
As Suicide Squad in terms of, like how they introduce people and how they do it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Spider-Verse to it. But there is that feel to it that's got a similar feel to...
The same cinematic style, yeah.
Well, the same cinematic style. They were going a little bit that direction. And that's the other reason why I'm kind of sitting here going, I like it. It just didn't seem to work as well here as it did in Suicide Squad. And by the way, as much as everyone wants to call Suicide Squad a bomb, that movie did better than a lot of people think it did.
Yeah.
And I kind of laughed. It has, here's the best part. It has an Academy Award. Can Endgame say that?
Sadly, no.
Right. I mean, that's what I kind of laugh about is for everybody who kind of bitched about that Suicide Squad movie.
What Oscar did Suicide Squad win?
I can't remember.
Was it editing or music or something like that?
It might have been.
It was some technical
something
award.
Like that.
Yeah.
Right, it was a technical award, but they still won it, and
Yeah.
I kind of laughed. But again, it was late in the summer.
Well, whatever the capacity, it still counts as big.
Right, but at the same time, they were one of those films that was near the end of the summer when people were looking for things to watch, and while it initially got bad buzz, there wasn't a lot else to watch, and that movie did okay.
Didn't have any competition, so it did. So
right,
yeah,
right. So it did well enough, and honestly, even though it didn't do what they wanted it to, they got a lot of buzz out of what's her name, playing Harley, and there you go. So, I mean, it's worked out for them in the long run, even though people want to sit there and call, "Oh, Suicide Squad was a failure." Was it? Maybe from a money number it was. From a long-term perspective, it hasn't been. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, I saw that.
Okay.
Trying to think, what else did I do this past week? I always get flustered at this point. It's like, what else did I do this past week?
Any gaming or public speaking sessions?
Yeah.
Did I do it? No gaming this past week. We took the week off.
And then you did a couple of shots on Facebook, I saw.
Yeah, I did a couple of things on Facebook just in general, but
I mean, they're really engaging. I mean, I have not told you that before, but when I watch them, you're very engaging. You have a quality about what you come across on the screen. So, yeah, I mean, I only could wish that I was as articulate, Jeff, but I try.
No, that's fixable. That's fixable. The question is, are you interested in fixing it? But
well, there are moments where I try to be as eloquent as I can. Sometimes I might not always know the words. I don't always fall on my feet on some words, but I do try to present a valid point. So, but as far as all of that, it also stems from when I was, growing up and the way my brain is wired, being autistic. So what might, work for, some people trying to get certain phrases in that context, for me, I have to, work it in a different, language for me to understand it. But yeah, I mean, but when I watch your Facebook post and everything, and it's like, now I get it, and, I just wanted to know that I admire you. If I hadn't told you.
I appreciate it. It. Like I said, lately, I hate to say it, when I'm watching people write lately a lot on Facebook, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff with Zoom and some of these meetings and how people engage with people, and it's really frustrating to watch when people don't understand the basics of how that works. So that becomes difficult. Oh, I'm sorry. The biggest news of the week. I was able to execute the omelet. I was able to execute it. I was able to flip it, and it did not turn into some sort of omelet scramble.
That's cool.
The wrist flip, or did you just big spatula, or?
Big spatula flip. Big spatula flip.
Okay.
And here's the irony of what I laughed about was this was the one time I was trying to basically turn it into a scramble, and ironically it turned into an omelet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is hysterical.
So you must will it to be what you don't want it to be.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
Rough suggestion, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it was funny because I'm ready to do what I need to do. I'm ready to do what I need to do. Wait a minute. This looks like it might flip and work. I'm like, holy shit.
Execute the omelet flip.
Holy cow.
Engage.
How did that happen?
Isn't it wonderful when it happens the way it just does?
You know what the funny part is? I posted that because I thought it would just be funny. And people are like, oh my God, you too? I'm like, yeah? Does everybody else have this problem too where the omelet breaks and gets screwed up and just turning into scramble whatever the hell it is? Am I not the only one?
Well, it's a matter of timing, I guess.
Yeah. No, by the way, you absolutely had me drooling, Mike. Yesterday, Mr. I'm working on the grill, and there's burrs and
have all this really great looking meat, which is like, I'm sitting here like rubbing my stomach like, dang, why are they there?
Well, yeah, we did have a bit of a family gathering the other day, and
That was sweet.
it was
Cool.
less than 10 people.
But it's nice,
And we're
right?
and we're playing the beanbag game in the backyard, so we were keeping our social
You
distancing.
mean cornhole?
Yeah, that's what it's called. We call it the beanbag game because cornholes, there's a bit of connotation to it, a little bit innuendo with that phrase.
My favorite is, so ESPN has been running, I guess,
Cornhole.
cornhole on their channel. And they
Wow.
actually do call it the Cornhole Championship.
The cornhole. Wow.
Yeah, that's my reaction to
So
it.
yeah, we had burgers and we had Italian sausage. Ivan, you okay, man?
Ivan's dying of laughter
Ivan's,
because it's the cornhole.
Ivan thinks cornhole that's a funny word. So he had Italian sausage, and it did cause a grease fire afterward, which was
Oh no!
Yes, I didn't clean the propane grill well enough the last time, and well, I'll tell you what. So as we're done eating and I'm done cooking and everyone's eating, and I was like, I'll let the grill run a bit, get the meat fragments off of the grates and I'll let that all burn off. So I take my first bite of my burger, and all of a sudden I hear, Mike! So I run out there, and yep, there's the grease fire coming out of three sides, all four sides from under the hood. So
oh shit!
I had to shut the burners off and just let it all just burn off. I was,
Why is it that sound is never?
Oh,
what was that? What was that, Jeff?
Why is it that sound from a family member is never anything that's good news?
No.
So I was like, Mike! Oh shit!
Yeah, it's the way. Yeah.
It's never. I just won $1 million or anything.
No. But other than that, I did a good day Sunday. Out in the backyard with the family. Had a good barbecue. I got my hair cut on Tuesday.
I saw that picture.
At the Great Clips, and I tell you, I was like, because I thought the whole weekend I was looking at the app and I'm watching the wait time. It's like 3 hour wait, 2.5 hour wait. I'm like, geez. So I checked the time. They open at 9:00. So I'm right there Tuesday morning, right there at 9:00. I pull in at 5 minutes till open, and I was the 7th person in line already.
Wow.
And of course, it was a bunch of older guys, so, we're all getting crew cuts, so we're all moving pretty fast. There's nothing stylish. We just want to cut. So I didn't have to wait too long, and left a nice hefty tip for the nice lady because, she had been 2.5 months without, being closed down, because I got my last haircut right on St. Patrick's Day, right before Pritzker shut everything down, that week, that Friday. So
yeah,
I was due, and I just drive me nuts with long hair. So I got that done.
Oh, I'm beyond due. Beyond due. I was due. I was due at the moment that I was due, and then they closed everything down. And I'm like, now it's really like.
Well, I was hairy for a long while. I mean,
yeah, you got the crew cut, man. Ivan's joined the Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I become curly.
Elvis joins the army. Yeah.
Yeah. So what it was I asked Julie. I said, "Honey, can you do me a favor? This hair is driving me nuts." Oh, Ivan, no, I couldn't cut your hair. I says, "Look, I'm asking of you. Just take the big clippers and just tear it all down." And she sweetly did the job, but then I kept looking up and I kept saying, "Honey, there's still hair up there. Come on, bring it all the way down." "Oh, do you? I gotta do it all the way down." Please. I had to do this several times before I finally got to where I was like nearly bald and everything. And
yeah, you were Curly Howard.
Yeah, I was a bowling ball, man. So it's just like. And, then she comes back later and goes, "Ooh, you're kind of cute. Keep the goatee." I kind of like that. I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right." So, yeah. So now it's like, now I feel like one of those dish rags, with the little hairs going up on the top of my head. My goodness.
Mm. Can you grease your head and become a roll-on?
No, just fuzzy, man. But yeah, I'm still comfortable though. It's been good.
Summer's a good time to have a short hair, and I've always liked the short hair on the head because I don't know. Well, this is the longest I've ever had it in my adult life, and it was driving me nuts, especially having to wear a mask all day at work.
Well, then I had that kind of hair for a long time and everything, and now I got to cut down all this way. I'm just like, man, this is actually kind of cool. This, I'm liking this. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's all about the comfort.
Hey, I meant to ask you, Mike, did you?
Yeah,
because we talked about it last time and we teased it, and then we didn't even talk about it. So how far have you gotten on Stargirl?
Yeah, I'm caught up. I'm done with.
Are you?
I finished episode 3, so I'm caught up.
Okay, what do you think?
It's good. There's parts of it like, hey, this is, I don't know, Luke Wilson's kind of like, he's kind of a one note kind of thing. Like, seems tired all the time. Like, it's like, he's okay. And I'm not bashing him, but it's just like, when he's on screen, he has this one cadence, and it's starting to, grate on me. It's starting to get a little wary. But other than that, yeah, I like the show, and episode 3 had some meat on its bones, man. I mean, it had comedy, it had cool action, it had drama, and like, holy crap, this is not just like, some silly kid, not to say, but I mean, you can have a kids appeal show and still have some drama and some really meaty subjects, and yeah, right. I liked it, and there's great parts of it. I love the Paperboy, monologue about Paperboy, and that the younger brother Mike, he's you just the younger brother you just want to punch in the face. But I like it, and it's a good show, and it's really got potential. I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes.
Yeah,
it's become appointment television for me.
Well, it's here's the thing, it's the nice part is they've got a little bit more budget thanks to DC.
Yeah,
Universe.
like some of the, I was like, whoa, like with the CG with the giant robot suit, man. That is
right.
Like, wow,
yeah.
I'm impressed for a CW show.
Well, keep in mind it wasn't originally a CW show. It's airing on DC Universe on Mondays, and then so basically they're kind of like splitting costs or something along those lines.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
So it's on DC Universe on Monday, and Tuesday night it's on CW.
Right. And I'm curious because I don't have DC Universe right now. If there's any differences between what you get on the show that you get online from DC Universe versus what you get on CW. I have no idea. Cool. I have no idea whatsoever if there's anything. If the only difference is no commercials, I don't. Yeah, I don't
that's
know.
the thing. When like last couple times I watch it on demand, so now I've got episode 4 on the DVR, so that way I can fast through the commercials. So because when you're watching it on demand, the fast forward function is disabled. So
right.
Sometimes it's a 3-minute spot. Sometimes it's like a 60-second spot.
Right.
So.
Right, and again, right, exactly. That's why I have it on the DVR, so I can do that too. But yeah, I thought I was a little surprised that the first villain. I thought the first villain was going to be the big bad the whole way through. And,
he might come back. You mean the Icicle?
No, I meant Brainwave.
Oh, Brainwave might come back, but we'll see.
Might. But
there might
be
some minor spoilers ahead for those who haven't watched Stargirl. There might be some.
The other thing is that at that point, I think we're already looking at the beginning of Brainwave Jr., which would be the son, but we'll see.
Yeah, the jockstrap. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the interesting part too. Is
the teen drama?
The guys,
yeah.
Right, and it's being produced by Jeff Johns, and Jeff Johns is probably one of their top guys from the comic book side, And at one point, he was in charge of all the DC extended cinematic universe. But by the time they gave him an opportunity, things were already ugly. And by the time things started to get working again, they had kind of kicked him out the door on that. And so now he's kind of doing his own thing within Warner and DC, the DC world. And this is one of those projects. So, you know, he was involved at times in Smallville back in the day. He certainly has a good he has a good understanding with television, and I think that they have a really nice.
Yeah, they got something going here, and I like the music. I like they throw in the oldies, you know, a little bit of Little Richard and Johnny Cash. That was a nice touch.
Right,
and
right.
A small town atmosphere because it's a small town in Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
So the interesting part to me is the town that they've picked is called Blue Valley. And
I keep wanting to say Hill Valley from Back to the Future.
Right, but it's not.
Like
so Blue Valley
kind of stuck in my head. Like, oh yeah, it's like.
Well, it's embedded in there, yeah.
So here's the thing, though. From a comic book perspective, here's why that name means something, which is in the comics, Wally West, a.k.a. Kid Flash, a.k.a. the Second Flash, is originally from Blue Valley.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm very kind of curious.
And now, you know, Courtney wants to... Yo, Ivan, you okay, man?
Ivan, are you okay, man?
I'm fine.
All right. Okay. Good to hear.
I'm cool.
With Courtney wanting to rebuild the JSA...
I'm curious.
I watched the teaser for episode 4, and it looks like, you know, she just might be like going around school, being all like, "Hey, want to be a superhero?" That's something like not that blatant, but I mean, you know what I
mean. Right. Well, but here's the other thing, and I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm not sure that's going to happen right away. But here's the thing: Jeff Johns used to write the Flash for a very long time, and the person he used to write as the Flash was Wally West. So there's a part of me where I'm wondering if we're not going to see Wally West at some point in Stargirl. It just
it makes sense.
There's too many right. Yeah. Just
to protect it. No,
it's just a theory off the top of my head. I mean, considering and normally I throw it out the window, but considering who's writing this and who's producing this,
and none of the other CW shows have grabbed me like this one has, and I like it. I dig it. So
it's here's the thing: it's not really a CW show; it's a DC Universe show.
I know, but technically it is on CW. But, I mean, it's not part of the CW. It's not part of the CW verse, but you know what I mean.
By the way, I got to figure a way how to figure out what's going on with this, but I got a text from AT&T that says that thanks to being an AT&T mobile subscriber, I'm supposedly getting HBO Max. For free.
Oh.
Well, maybe use your link your email or download the app on something. I don't know.
I don't know how this works. I'm gonna have to find out. But apparently, I'm gonna get HBO Max.
And you've got a smart TV, so you might be able to get that app on it.
Right, and then it'll just go direct.
Right, but I hate to say it, I can watch it on my laptop or whatever else.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was kind of interesting that apparently that. And we talked about it, and now they're doing that. So that's kind of neat. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know if you also saw, Mike, that they're talking about making a Bane movie along the same lines as the Joker.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. This is...
Well, we're in the phase we're in, and everything's talking about getting done. And DC's been doing this for 2 years now, where something's in the works, and then you never hear about it again.
Yeah, there's that too. But I think with the success that Joker had, I do think that they're gonna try to find somebody. They're gonna try to find somebody that they can spin a similar idea and spin a similar direction. Especially because I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is going to come back to do another Joker movie.
No. I say have him come right in and have him come right in and break Pattinson's back right away.
But the thing is, didn't he already establish that he wasn't going to do a number 2?
Yes, he did. I mean, he's made it very clear that we're not going to get a sequel to Joker.
Right.
Not from Joaquin Phillips, no.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
Yeah.
Phoenix, yeah. But,
but there's talk about, what other Batman characters could we move down this road? Or what other characters do we have within what we own that we could give a similar treatment to? And one of the names is
You
Bane.
okay, Ivan?
Yeah, seriously, you okay, man?
I'm fine.
You're hacking and sneezing and all kinds of noises over there.
Yes.
I apologize, gentlemen.
That's right.
I'm fine.
You're right. Oh, good. Glad to hear.
Yes. Please continue.
DJ hacking and sneezing. That's.
Okay, let's... Yeah.
What were we talking about? Yeah, we're talking Bane.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then...
I will be the next Joker film.
I don't know.
Here I come.
Yeah, I don't know. And this goes back to the other thing. This goes back to something else, though, which is DC spends a lot of time promoting, trying to put movies out with bad guys in them. I mean, really, where the bad guys are the front and center. I mean,
DC has better bad guys than Marvel. I'd argue.
Do you think so?
I would argue that DC has better bad guys than Marvel. At least more memorable.
You think that? But
at least more iconic.
do you think more length? More. They were more legendary. You would say.
I think the real answer is up until Disney bought Fox, they only had a couple of iconic bad guys that they could use. Which is really, they only had Loki and Thanos, and the Red Skull. But
so 3 prophecies.
Right, but and in fairness, they kind of squandered.
Yeah, because they didn't have any of this. Well, at the start, they didn't have any of the Spider-Man villains.
Well, yeah, forget the Spider-Man villains. You don't have Dr. Doom.
Yeah, but the normal moviegoer, taking his girlfriend, he's on the football team with his girlfriend. The normal person doesn't know who Dr. Doom is.
Right.
I don't know about that. Or I'll give you an example. Okay, Magneto. They didn't have access to Magneto.
Well, that was well established in 2000 when the first X-Men film.
Right, but the MCU didn't have access to Magneto. And
you had Sir Ian McKellen already established his popularity as Gandalf, and now he's Magneto. And those movies did pretty well. Right,
but they never, like I said, it's interesting because they never, again, this is a difference in philosophy too, but I would stack Magneto, Dr. Doom, and I'm trying to think who else they didn't have that they got in that deal. But
I think more and more people would know who Joker and Lex Luthor are rather than Magneto and Thanos. At least before Infinity War.
See, that's the problem. The problem is that I think people know who they are now.
Yeah, now because of Disney.
But again,
20 years ago, now if you were talking about in the now, then let's talk about in the now. I mean, but you still have you've got villains from the 60s and 70s from television and comics and movies who are in the forefront. I mean, most everyone knows the Burgess Meredith Penguin and Catwoman and Riddler and all that from the 60s Batman. But from Superman, you've got Lex Luthor from Gene Hackman, who was So, I'd argue that because there were no Marvel films, but now it's a different game now because Disney's brought these Loki's been a great villain and a great foil for Thor and the good guys at Marvel, but, and of course with Thanos and Ultron, kinda, but But the X-Men, but as far as like power but we're talking about the forefront of popularity, I think more people would be like more apt to recognize, like say you're like a Joker or Penguin rather than Magneto.
I don't know about that.
Anyway.
I don't know about that.
But I don't know about Bane, and I hope they don't do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's...
It seems like it's just a trial balloon. I think that's what they've been doing this for.
I hope so. I hope so. I really do. Just like... Now there's conversation, there's rumblings out there, and again, very much in the rumor land, that they're going to try to get Batfleck back to do HBO Max stuff, and maybe they'll bring in Jared Leto, and maybe they'll do a whole bunch of stuff like that, all from HBO Max. And I'm like, really?
Maybe this is just for the reshoots to do their Justice League cut. Maybe,
or they're talking about bringing him back to do Batman, a legitimate Batman on that. And I'm like, okay.
I think Affleck's done with that game.
You'd think so, but he was one of the guys who was out there humping for that Snyder cut.
Do you think for the right amount of money he would do it again?
Maybe if they get him to do like old Bruce Wayne for Batman Beyond.
Okay, fair.
I'd go an even more interesting direction.
What's that?
Which is, why not Batman Dark Knight Returns Batman?
Yeah.
Although he's still too young for that. Yeah, I mean, ironically, the person that makes the most sense for that is Bruce Willis. Still makes sense that it's Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis will never put on... No. I don't think Bruce Willis will be part of that.
He would be perfect.
Maybe a good role for it. I don't know. I'm sure he'd do well in that role, but... I don't think Bruce Willis wants to be part of that. I'm sure he's been approached by these studios by now about whether to be a superhero.
After he did Hardigan for Sin City, I am totally convinced that he would make a great Dark Knight Returns Batman. That he'd be great. He really would.
I'm sure he'd do fine, but I doubt he'd take the role.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But I think for the right amount of money, he might do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, everybody's got their price, right?
Let's see. But yeah, I just, all the rumblings now are like, all of a sudden, like, all of this Snyder stuff might come back to HBO Max, and it's like, okay. I mean, hey, if they want to put money into it and that's what they want to do, I guess more power to them. I mean, I was in the minority. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought it was...
Yeah, he did fine in BVS and Justice League. He did fine enough for me.
And Suicide Squad. I thought he was great in all three. I enjoyed his Batman. I enjoyed it a lot. And if anything... Now that would be the interesting thing. Now, if you sat there and said to Ben Affleck, okay, we want you back. We're going to give you full control.
Ooh.
We're going to give you full control to do it however you want to do it, but here's your budget.
Okay.
He might do it. He might do that.
But are the fans clamoring to get him back, though? I mean, is the studio willing to put their creative control and all this money at Affleck to just revitalize, just to take the footage they got at Justice League and recut it for Snyder to stroke his ego, and then to say, okay, Ben Affleck, here's a ton of money and do what you want with it. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is,
do you think they'd be willing to do that?
Well, so here's the question. This goes back to a question that we've had for a long. This goes back to all this streaming wars stuff, which is, what level are these guys going to go about who's going to win these streaming wars? And in fairness, Disney started it out from the get-go with the fact that they sat there and said, yeah, we're going to do Mandalorian, and yeah, we're going to do these Marvel shows, and yeah, we're going to do all this stuff and they've admitted as part of their budgeting that, they're going to take a loss on some of these projects because they feel like in the long term, they're going to be able to get more people with these projects to continue to buy Disney Plus and be dominant. Well, if that's their thought process, who else is having it? Maybe somebody at Warner is just going, you know what? If in the long run, HBO Max is one of the ones that ends up standing in the end as a streaming service versus everybody else, do we take the risk?
No.
Then it becomes a fiscal thing.
Right. Well, and again, because that's the real conversation.
These are times for bold action, and Disney, they put some money up, and they didn't know what was going to happen, and Mandalorian's a hit.
Right. Right. But in the meantime, here's the interesting part about that, too, is Mandalorian's a hit, and part of where they're at right now is Mandalorian's a hit. The good news is they apparently finished season 2, so that
before
sometime in the fall, right before Corona, the real question is, when are they finally going to get this Marvel stuff on the air? Because the truth is,
I want this Falcon Winter Soldier.
Because the truth is, since Mandalorian went off the air, I mean, unless you really, really want to watch all the content that's there for, some of the old content.
Well, there
isn't anything new that you're bringing.
Well, they have been keeping us busy with, at least the Star Wars people, with the last season of Clone Wars, and of course releasing The Last Skywalker.
I mean, they have had a few series. I think isn't
Skywalker.
Isn't Jeff Goldblum doing?
Yeah, he has his
weird
own series, and I've heard it's okay. I've not heard great things about it, but I've not heard bad things about it.
Right, and then there's a High School Musical, the series.
Yeah.
That apparently, I know that's not a thing for you, but obviously kids. I mean, I know there are those.
That was part of my daughter's era. When she was coming up, she was big into High School Musical and Hannah Montana, and all that.
Right. I mean, some of those.
Yeah,
some of those things.
There's a lot of kids content on Disney Plus, obviously.
Right, but
they're doing
shorts
and all the Pixar films and all that.
Right, but there's new footage there. There's new. Well, in fairness, they had Clone Wars, so I guess I shouldn't say too much. But
Kim Possible.
But there isn't anything new Kim Possible. It's not like they're making new Kim Possible movies or new Kim Possible TV.
No, but I'm saying,
wasn't there rumblings of a live action Kim Possible?
It happened. There was. It happened.
Oh, it
happened.
Happened.
It was on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
It wasn't
It was here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was not a big. It was not nearly the big production it should have probably been. And I'm curious as to why, but I don't know.
Well, let's get into the big DC news. Now, we've talked about DC pretty much to the sum of the show, but the big news that dropped last week from DC is that they're no longer partnering with Diamond Distributing. Or Diamond, what was it?
Diamond Distributing. Yeah.
And that was like shot heard around the world in the comic book realm. So.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what to make of it.
And I think a lot of other I think a lot of publishers are going to do the wait and see if they're going to follow suit.
I mean, the bigger thing is, here's the thing: Diamond's been kind of a monopoly of sorts for a while.
Yeah, I remember when in the 2000s when a friend of mine had a website, and he'd get me and this was like 15 years ago, and those Diamond Distributing catalogs are huge. I mean, they carry tons of stuff from tons of different companies.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're right; they do have kind of a monopoly.
Industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there used to be another one, and then they went under. I want to say it was Capital or something like that. It's been so long. I mean, it's really been long. I mean, they've had a monopoly for a couple of decades now, I want to say.
And I remember the local comic store in my town, they ordered through Diamond.
Right, everybody do. I mean, basically, if you have a comic book store, you were ordering through Diamond.
Yeah.
And so that's where this becomes an interesting question, is because, there's a couple of things. One, there's talk that Diamond may not have enough liquidity, that I don't know what's going to happen to Diamond here, that apparently they've overextended themselves. There's talk of that. There's talk of that, that this is going to hurt stores because they're not going to be able to buy the volume that they normally would buy now that there's not going to be DC product there. So as a result, that's going to hurt some people's discounts for their overall buy.
Yeah, and not just books. There's all kinds of, trades and collectibles.
Right. So that becomes a problem too.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of Diamond.
Right, and the other part is, some of the people who DC has decided to distribute through are all sell direct to the reading public. So on top of the fact that they're distributing to all these retailers, they're also selling product on their own of the same thing. So, it's going to be interesting and there's some people who are not so thrilled about that. At the same time, there's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, Diamond's been such a monopoly for so long. And, people used to bitch about Diamond back in the day, and now all of a sudden it's, oh my God, why are we doing this? Why is everybody going away from Diamond? And why are they going away from Diamond? I'm like, I could have swore people didn't like Diamond either. But, again, this is in the end, I think the real loser in all this are the stores. I think the direct market stores are the losers here. Of anybody.
Well, I think everybody's going to lose out, just varying degrees of what they lose.
Well, again, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they stock DC product in the future as a whole. It's going to be interesting to see what that does in terms of what their profitabilities are versus what costs go up, because now maybe people aren't buying what they used to buy in terms of volume every month because certain things are no longer through Diamond anymore. Okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Diamond, because that's a conversation that's out there as well. Is Diamond, where's Diamond at these days?
Well, what's going to happen to it now?
Pretty much. In fairness, everything else is going at the moment. Everybody else is going through them, including Marvel. But who knows?
This might be a sea change for all comic book, and not just, like I said, this is not just about books. It's also about all kinds of collectibles that go through Diamond.
Yeah, I go ahead, Ivan. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I lost my thought. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. But the other part is, too, I seem to remember that Marvel did try to do this at one point. They tried to pull this at one point, and it didn't work.
Well, maybe DC's going to learn from their mistakes.
Maybe.
Like, what's the phrase go? A smart man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man learns from somebody else's mistakes?
Right.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
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 That's right.
We'll
see.
I don't know.
Can't you get comics from Entertainment Earth?
I don't know.
Isn't that like I know they do like tons of toys and statues and collectibles, but I don't think you can get comics and trades from Entertainment Earth. Oh well, that's the only other. That would be the only other like distributor that would come close to Diamond at this point, right?
I am not sure. I don't know who does the gaming stuff.
Oh, that's right. Well, there's was it Miniature
I know
Market?
There's some gaming stuff on Diamond because I've seen it before, but Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a lot of smaller companies like indie games, that put out their own little or games, but or whatever.
Well, even some of the bigger ones have put stuff on there,
Yeah, it's like anything that's Hasbro's, or obviously, or anyway.
Right, so,
well, that'd be interesting to see. And of course, as we get out of Corona and more and more stores are opening up, and in my area, they're lifting restrictions and they're opening. Obviously, they're starting to open comic shops, not just doing curbside pickups, and people can actually go in the stores and pick up your Lucy's or your pulls for the month. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Well, and the other thing is too is
post-corona,
and I can't. Well, and not only that, with everything that's been going on, I know there's some comic book stores that have gotten hit by looters and rioters.
Yeah, I know Graham Cracker downtown, they got hit,
and Challengers got hit too.
Yeah.
So I mean that's an issue, and that's unfortunate, and that's bad. But that's the worst part is it's happening now in the middle of all this mess. So I don't know what else to.
Yeah. Right, and we've done shipping. Just the whole distribution line too is getting disrupted, and with more and more people shopping online, it's like we had. Like I said, last month, our store had like the best sales in May ever. And our last truck last week, our fill rate was about 70%.
Wow.
3 out of the 10 items we ordered did not come in because we're just going like gangbusters. And the supply chains are getting disrupted too. I mean, there's a bottleneck, I think, with the shipping lanes and coming out of China because I know like a lot of collectible friends of mine, they're ordering stuff direct from China and they're slowed because I think it was Canada, or not Canada, but Japanese shipping. They've purposefully slowed their shipping processes so to allow the COVID to sit and die on these packages. I think just to slow the supply chains. So just to help to protect the people in between who are running these shipping lanes. This is strange times we're living in. So we'll see what happens with DC if they can handle running their own product to the stores.
And then the other two pieces of DC news are, and these are not related, but it both happened in this past week. Which is one is that Ruby Rose, who's playing Batwoman, is not coming back to the show after one season. And there's talk, apparently they've already decided that whoever's replacing her is not going to be Kate Kane in the future season, in season 2, whenever that comes back on.
It'll be a different character.
It'll be an entirely different character.
It's not going to be like the second Darren from Bewitched. So
apparently not. No. So that'll be interesting. The other thing is...
Or the second Lieutenant Savick from Star Trek, whatever you want.
Right, apparently not.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. And I'm curious how that's going to work with where they ended it, with who they have involved, and how that works with the supporting cast.
Yeah, that's too bad because, to be in all honesty, I've only watched like one full episode of Batwoman. And of course I watched the Crisis miniseries from CW, and she did a good job. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I no one's really sure exactly what that is, if it's on her
or if she got another offer to do
or
something else, but we wish her well.
I've even heard rumors of her doing the DC movie for Batwoman, but I don't know about that. But if there is a Batwoman movie that they'll do. The other piece of news is more recent. We got this right before we went on air, which is Hartley Sawyer, who plays the elongated man on Flash, has been fired. Because apparently, he has tweets or social media messages from back in 2012 or 2014.
Oh boy, there are people digging up old tweets now again.
Right. Well, some of them are racist and some of them are issues, and he does it. The nice part is, at least he's not denying it, and he admits that, yeah, that's a problem and this is an issue, and along those lines. But yeah, he's been fired from playing the elongated man. Now, I don't know if they're going to then try to bring somebody else back to play that character, or if that will just be the end of that. I don't know.
Let's get Ruby Rose to be the elongated woman.
Yes, there we go. That'll work real well.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yes.
There we go. Incorporate them.
He tweeted some inappropriate things, but. Well,
yeah, again.
Yeah, I've not read the article. I don't know what he posted, but this was from 9 years ago now, so.
9 years, yeah.
I don't know. It's like sometimes you gotta, like,
no,
they dug up all
I get
these.
part of it.
You know, like, well, they, like, sort of like goes from along the lines. Like, I can't comment on it because I haven't read the tweets. I'm sure, I don't know how bad they are, so.
Right, and it comes to the other question, which is, you know, when this all happened with James Gunn, you know, in fairness, James Gunn eventually landed on his feet. Roseanne, not so much. But the other thing is, if we remember correctly, you know, people went to go try to find Ryan Johnson tweets, and suddenly they were all gone. Because he paid somebody to go in there and scrub all of his Twitter feed so that nobody could find anything on him. And I'm just waiting to see how many other people do that. You know? Okay, fine. If that's how it's going to get played, where I made comments 10 years ago. Okay, well, you're fired. I mean, now in fairness, and that's part of the problem. What is it that he said? How much is it what he said? You know, how much do we have? How much is forgiveness? Where are we? What's the time frame?
I mean, how long do you have to be sorry? How long do you have to be sorry? Because, you know, you go through different phases in your life, and there are some things I said back in the day I would never adapt to now. But, you know, if you're gonna base, you know, that sensibility on a person I used to be, hardly seems fair, right? I mean, you really get to know a person, you know, inside and out, but then all of a sudden the game changes because the ghosts come out of the closet. I mean, how long do you need to be sorry? Yeah, you know, a person can say something unsavory and everything. If he sought out the forgiveness, or if he at least admits to that.
Yeah, but the fact that he tweeted these things in 2012, and then he's been the elongated man for how long? How many seasons?
A couple, yeah.
A couple, but maybe you should have, you know, maybe needs to do some vetting before these, you know, on social media.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, and that's
it's the equivalency of finding dirt, like in the old days. I mean, it seems like it's all the same game.
Well,
you know?
But it's weird because, like, look, part of the problem is that you know, depending on what it was and what he said, you know, I'm not the person who should be answering the questions about what they said 10 years ago, if it matters. And in fairness, there's some things that people have said that are from 10, 20 years ago, maybe longer, that, yeah, I still hold them to those statements, absolutely. But
because they haven't apologized for them, or they've not said, or they've not changed their opinion on it.
Or I don't trust good them. On it. Mm-hmm. Right.
Or I don't trust them. Mm-hmm. And in fairness, there's nothing that says that, you know, we should trust this person. So that's part of the problem too. You know, I don't know. It's, again, to me, the bigger concern is if I'm somebody who's in Hollywood, or if I have a big position someplace, you know, big corporate position someplace or something along those lines. You know, I don't know. Why would you take any, at this point, when I almost feel like, okay, I have, you know, if you can't do it yourself, go to somebody else and basically go through your entire social media history and basically eliminate everything.
Yeah.
Eliminate everything because, you know,
yeah,
and
the
that's
thing
what
is
I'm
that
getting
the internet
about.
is forever, and there's some people who will dig all that stuff up. Obviously somebody dug it up on James Gunn, and it cost him, you know, a job in the short term.
Well, but
he's doing okay now, but There was a time where James Gunn were like, oh, he ain't coming back.
Yeah, he became box office poison.
Well, but here's the thing. James Gunn had not deleted any of his tweets from all that back that time. Had he deleted his tweets from all back that time, maybe it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rian Johnson, as soon as the James Gunn thing happened, Rian Johnson, either he or his people went into his account and pretty much deleted a whole bunch of stuff from what I'm told. Because this was right around the time that, Last Jedi was happening, and certain people were like, well, this is, oh yeah? Let's go find some Rian Johnson tweets.
He was getting kind of vocal with a lot of, naysayers and haters. To the point where it's like, hey, F you. Like,
right, and there were a bunch of them like, we're going to go find something.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not, because I scrubbed everything. And I'm waiting for that to be what basically becomes the norm for certain people, which is who can afford it, which is, I'm going to go through, I'm going to scrub everything so people don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know. I'll look great, but you won't know. And that's
and if ever adventure there, would you want to know?
I think some people would want to. I don't know.
There's a part of me. Well, I mean, depending on what it is.
Like, well, yeah. So you know what? I really like that movie. That actor. I better go check his Twitter feed from 2010 just to be sure he's not.
Yeah, racist or something.
No, I don't know about that, but
no, it's conjecture. Yeah.
The only other thing is Scott sent us something too. I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Scott.
Yeah, the only other news. Yeah, we've got a little bit of news, not much else. But it was mostly just DC dominated this week.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot other outside of that I can be aware of. But Scott sent us about what Warner Brothers. Ironically, more Warner Brothers stuff.
More DC, pretty much Warner Brothers.
Yeah, kind of. Which is cool. About that apparently in the new Looney Tunes shorts, you're not going to see Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam or any of those guys with guns.
That was a different time though too. Like, do you think back to like Hanna-Barbera in the 60s? Like Ricochet Rabbit and Quick Draw McGraw.
Right.
They're all gunslingers.
Yeah.
And
the hillbilly bears.
Oh yeah, geez, yeah, with the rifles, yeah.
But
constantly getting the rifle to the face, and just like
then some of the
it was
earlier,
certainly a different time, and
it was a different era.
Yeah, and Scott, he's entitled to his opinion, but I don't know the newer Warner Brothers stuff, unless it's in an innocuous situation like Space Jam where you're just playing basketball, you don't have Elmer Fudd hunting wabbits, then he doesn't need to have the rifle. So
right.
But Yosemite Sam, those were, it was a different time, and this day and age, they don't want to put guns on cartoons, and I see why. I understand it, and the cartoons are out there, and you look back at a lot of the older. Especially like Tom and Jerry, like whoa, it's like whoa.
Well, yeah, and then you have the history of some of the really
and the stuff that was never on television, that was never intended to be on television.
Well, the really racist cartoons that they had, the alternate versions. You had Snow White. Well, then you had Coal Black. Coal Black and her 7 dwarfs.
Oh well, exactly. Enough said in that regard. It's like, I see why it's happening in this day and age.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's new Looney Tunes out there. If you can figure out a way to do it and they don't need to have guns and it's still funny,
it's still,
okay, sure, why not?
Well, you got the Marvin the Martian. He's got a ray gun.
Well, it's different. A ray gun is different. Like, you can but that's different from actually
because it is science fiction.
Yeah.
After all, it's just out of the imagination.
Yeah.
And you can discern from that, whereas you gotta. Did I ever tell you the short story about the 5-year-old boy that went to a Superman get together and actually pulled out his father's loaded gun and was pointing at the actor?
Yeah. Was that George Reeves?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I remember hearing that story about how a kid pulled a gun on George Reeves.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how deep it got. And this is the 50s.
Yeah.
So, we have a situation where, like I said, I don't know who said this, but he said that the era of comedy that we've come to know is gone because of the political correctness. There just isn't any. Okay, well, do you exhibit these films in the light of, okay, due to the times, this is what was happening? Would you actually want to wipe away all of that to memory, or do you keep it for historical, counterpoint?
Yeah, and some people equate that to like removing like Confederate statues. It's like, this is history, this happened, and if we try to erase it from history, it may happen again. That's the common thinking.
It's in books.
Yeah.
There are pictures.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
A monument to a Confederate general. It's still history. But do we need to? I saw somebody posted a picture of a really doofy looking Confederate general and this dumb look on his face. I'm like, we need to save this Confederate statue because it does. it's just doofy. But anyway, I don't know. This was a conversation like 1 or 2 years ago, but when it was all about the removing of the Confederate statues and obviously, not flying the
Confederate flag.
The Confederate flag, from Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, and Dukes of Hazzard got pulled off of the one streaming service because it had General Lee had the flag on the roof of the car.
Oh yeah, well, didn't they just finally take that whole series off altogether?
Yeah, I don't know if it's back somewhere or not on some other streaming service. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
it's out there to be found. I'm sure someone has, free to find DVDs or something on Daily Motion. It's out there for history.
It's out there.
Anyway.
Right. But then you just have this sensibility of, okay, everything that has happened and at the time that it happened, it was meant to happen, and now we got to start to censor it. The very thing we were against in the first place, for censorship. It's something that should have never happened, but it did. And now all those old practices are new again because we want to make it politically correct. How do you rearrange history?
Well, you don't. You just need to be sure that it's recorded, but to some degree, but not like glorified.
Well, yeah. Let's not perpetuate it. Let's make you could be in the knowledge of it, but you don't need to perpetuate it. That's the thing. You don't have to act upon it. It's good to know about it.
Yeah.
But to go ahead and act upon it, now that becomes your individual.
It's like on my Facebook feed, someone, of course, the last weekend was D-Day, the anniversary of D-Day. And, a gun company that originated in Germany, posted a message about it. Like, and this is, all the American lives that were saved and all that. And somebody posted saying, that's kind of funny that a German gun company was posting about D-Day. And someone commented saying, no, this is damn important because not all Germans were Nazis. And that kind of stuck, like this important. And remember, where we are today and who emerged victorious against tyranny. And it's, I don't know. This is kind of, we're getting kind of heavier, we went.
No, but it was engaging, right? I mean, it got you to think about it.
Look, this is a long story. Somebody saying doesn't need guns. He doesn't.
Great horny totes.
Does Elmer Fudd really need a gun? Not really.
If you can find a way to make it funny, I think that's the.
I'm not just.
We didn't. Tiny Toons didn't need guns.
No.
Right.
They were cute.
So hopefully they go that route and they can make it entertaining.
I'm sure they could. I don't think they need the hardware.
Yeah, I remember they tried the one Looney Tunes cartoon there where they tried to go extreme, and it was just fell flat on its face. Nobody cared about it.
Well,
nobody cares. Nobody cares.
We got any other news we can discuss?
So.
No? All right. Ivan, you got anything? What are you doing this week for Twitch?
Well, I have...
Except your devil dodo eggs.
Let's see. I'm doing a show called Organized. And it's going to be all organ music, from Fats Waller to Jimmy McGriff to, all these different type of great organ players. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait. And,
I know a great organ player. His name is Sasha Grey.
I knew that you were going to shoot me with that.
There's no the Phantom of the Opera. That's the only organ player I know.
Matthew Faust.
Well, it's not going to be Virgil Fox, but it's going to be a whole lot more hip. It's really going to be very cool. In fact, before I got on the show tonight, I grabbed a stack of 50s stuff that I had separated for a project that I'm doing. And a couple of the records I didn't recognize, I dropped them on the table. Yeah, it started that whole situation. I'm just like, damn, this was meant to be. So, yeah, Organized. That would be on Twitch. That would be from 5 to 10.
What day?
Wednesday.
All right when this episode drops. So, okay. Well,
okay.
We'll catch. We'll try and catch it when you can. We'll also be out on Ivan's Twitch channel. That's JAVANIVAN at twitch.tv or download the app.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike.
Jeff, are you doing anything this week for public speaking and such? Toastmasters or anything like that?
Yeah.
What am I doing this week? I am working on material at Windy City Professional Speakers on Sunday night.
Cool.
And you can Google Windy City Professional Speakers, and you should be able to find them. But I am working on material on Sunday night, and then trying to think. I think a couple weeks I'm going to be doing some gaming. I should be doing some gaming this week too, but we'll see. I'm curious to see how it goes.
I think we've scheduled another social distancing game night in the garage this week.
The garage.
In the garage. It's safer than being in the house.
Smart.
Yeah.
Unless there's raccoons.
Right. Keep them raccoons out of the trash. We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. We know you get new content. Of course, all these crazy stories from our sibling show, News of the Squared, and if you can find that on the Facebook page. Shout out to Scott! And we, of course, are on all in the downloading of the podcasting platforms, i.e. Google, Spotify, PodBean, Anchor, and there's one other one I'm sure I'm forgetting. And Google, Spotify, Anchor, PodBean, and Apple. The fruit company. Some kind of fruit company, and we don't have to worry about the money no more.
Yeah, and make sure you give us a little review and whatnot.
Yeah, you want to if you like what you hear, or email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
And you can also find us on YouTube.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Aww.
So that'll do. Got a fever of 103. 103.
Come on, baby, do you do more than dance?
Apparently not. Have a good weekend and stay safe, everybody. Take care.